Hey girl, you're tuned into the Grace Code podcast. I'm your host Lisa, and this is a show all about unlocking Jesus in the everyday. What's the everyday? Well, it's things like your faith, career, relationships, health, and so much more. I pray that this podcast leaves you inspired and passionate to find Jesus as you go about your everyday and encourages you to step out of your comfort zone and step into the things that God is calling you to. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Grace Code podcast. I'm your host Lisa, and today I have with me my girl Sylvia from Tear the Veil. How are you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What have you
good.
been up to lately?
Not much. Just getting through the week, getting by. I haven't had my 2 cups of coffee as I usually do for the podcast, so I still think I can do it pretty well, but we'll see how you going.
We'll see how we go. Yeah, good. Look, we're still living a life of isolation at the moment, so that's been interesting to say the least, but I think we'll get there.
Yeah, it's a slow process, and unfortunately we had to kind of bunker down and get into an isolation again after the second wave,
right?
But
the second wave.
We can only do what we can do, yeah.
Totally. So today we thought it would be a bit fun to have a bit of a rapid fire round of, I guess, lessons we've learnt so far in life.
Yeah.
So we've both been through quite a bit in our young lifetime, and we thought we would share the wisdom with you in a bit of fun.
Yes, this is gonna be really exciting. I'm excited to kind of hear what you've come up with.
Yeah, so am I. I think it will be really interesting to teach each other some wisdom as we go through this.
Share the love. Share the love
Share
and wisdom.
the love. Totally. So I think we're just going to jump right in and see how we go.
Okay, who's first?
You can go first. Your lesson number 1.
Oh, okay. So my first lesson, or one of the lessons I have learnt so far in life, is to set realistic goals.
Oh, that's
just
good.
Just to set goals.
Just to set a goal.
Yeah, don't set unattainable expectations,
right?
Because unfortunately, like me, you won't have everything figured out by the age of like 30.
Look, can I let you in on something?
Yeah.
You probably won't after 30 as well.
It goes downhill.
No, it doesn't. It does not go downhill. I promise.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, but it would definitely be to set realistic goals. I think when we're young, we always think, oh, when I'm older, I'm going to have the biggest house and the coolest car. I'm going to have like 12 kids and I'm going to have a jet that flies all over the world.
You need one now, hey.
Married and, we've got all of these unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
And then once we unfortunately hit that age and we haven't actually done anything, we're like, what a failure we are. We feel like such failures when we don't meet those unrealistic expectations. So I would say just to set some goals, set realistic goals.
Yeah.
And don't limit yourself there.
Awesome. I love that. Especially all I remember from high school is setting like those SMART goals.
Oh, yeah. SMART. Yeah.
That's all I can remember.
I don't remember what they stand for. One of them's attainable.
And I think one was like
timely.
Measurable.
Oh,
so
measurable.
We'll
Okay.
So I think,
relevant.
I don't know. Maybe.
Or realistic.
Probably that.
I don't know what
remember.
the S is though. Simple maybe.
But yeah, I think that's really important to really set some goals in life and see where you go from there.
Yes, that's my first one. Liz,
Nice.
What's yours?
Okay, so mine is that you will find yourself in difficult seasons throughout your life, but it's that eternal joy that we have that will carry you through. So constantly choose it because it's a choice. And with that, be grateful for every season that you walk through. And I kind of always have viewed like this gratefulness as a little bit of an antidote to anxiety.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a really good way of thinking about it.
So, if I'm anxious in a season, I'll kind of think what I'm grateful for in that season and kind of counteract that anxiety that I'm feeling.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I think a lot of people, I think we forget being to be grateful a lot.
Totally.
No matter what, situation or season that we are in, sometimes we totally forget about being grateful for having the opportunity to actually go through it and to learn from it and to still be alive by the end of it.
Yes, that's so good. So true.
So I think gratefulness is a huge thing.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And I think that's just having that mindset of constantly choosing joy and constantly being grateful.
Yeah.
Even for like the little things. So yeah. I found that has helped me a lot.
That's great.
Okay, off you go.
Number 2. My one? Okay, number 2. Mine is don't fear failure, but be terrified of regret.
Oh, that's a good one.
So not choosing to fear failure, because we all will fail.
Yeah.
And no matter what we do, we're going to fail at stuff. We're not perfect. We're not the best. We're not the best at everything. So unfortunately, we will face that. But it's just choosing not to fear it, but really embracing it, and instead be, in a sense, terrified of regret. Like,
it's so true.
I would rather say that I tried than not have actually attempted to try it at all.
Yeah. What's a bit of failure?
That's how, yeah, exactly. As opposed to not trying it and then later on down the track you regret not being able to actually say, I did start that business, or I did travel the world, or I did start that ministry.
Totally.
So yeah, that's my little one.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And my second one actually can kind of feed off this a little bit. It's feel the fear and do it anyway, because that's where your freedom will be found on the other side of it.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So, I mean, like a fear that I will feel that probably doesn't relate to this is spiders.
Oh, yeah.
So I will feel that fear and run the other way. Because
I won't do anything about it, but I'll run.
yeah, pretty much. Another proper example would be probably public speaking for me. Like, I hate it, but it's one of those things that I've just had to learn to kind of overcome. And as I've kind of stepped out in that, there is a freedom that's come. There's actually like, oh, I can do this. Yeah,
that's so true. It's breaking that. And it's breaking that barrier and that mindset that you can push through.
Totally.
And afterwards, you're like, what did I fear to begin with? Like, what was the point of that?
Like, why would I think that?
Yeah, like, why would I do that? Yeah,
so
exactly.
good.
That's really great. My next one is be diligent in getting to know yourself first.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, just being able to fully understand yourself. Understand the reasons why you do things, understand the reasons why you have favorites, or why when someone says something in particular you get triggered, or where the root of a specific fear has come from. So getting to really know yourself is much more beneficial for you to really build upon your character, your personality. And it's not just a one-off thing like, oh yeah, I know myself. No, we constantly evolve as humans. So it's just to try and understand yourself throughout the year. So like understanding why I ever liked mullets on people, or why I ever thought I didn't actually, but why I ever thought having socks and flip-flops or sandals or whatever you want to call it is fashionable, and or why I thought having really thin eyebrows was fashionable at once. So it's just things like that. So constantly evolving, obviously with fashion trends and without, but it's just to constantly know yourself and be aware that we are changing. So we are like new creations all the time. Yeah,
no, that's awesome. And I think what's really great about that one is getting to know yourself first before you enter into like marriage and a relationship, because, you know, it's going to be such a struggle if you don't know things about yourself and now you're trying to learn about someone else at the same time. So it will probably stop a lot of drama because you'll know why you react in certain ways when there's conflict and things like that. So that's awesome. Exactly. So good. So good. So mine is, and I kind of love this one, especially with, I guess, the season we're in as a world, and probably bring a bit of kindness to the world, is be the one who smiled first.
That's
so,
cute.
You know, walk down the street and smile at little old lady that's, you know, doing her shopping and things like that. Just be friendly, be nice.
Yeah,
it'll get you places.
Know, a smile goes a long way. Like in this day and age, when it's just a friendly smile. Like it's nothing crazy. It's lighthearted. Yeah. I love that.
Just bring some happiness to someone's day.
Walking down to shopping and like you just smile at someone. it like lights up their day, even though they have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
You're just a friendly person who smiles at them, even though they had a suckish day. So
yeah, totally.
I like that.
So I love that one.
Okay, so my next one is you won't magically wake up one day and the world would be perfect. So you have to start the change and you have to be the change. This kind of came to me when I was constantly waiting for something good to happen in my life, and nothing really happened. Like I don't know if I was waiting on the world. I don't know if I was waiting on, I don't know what I was waiting on, but I was just waiting. I was just waiting for one day I was going to wake up and everything would be perfect. Yeah. I'd have $1 million in my bank account and I wouldn't have any problems, and Jesus would literally be my physical neighbor, and I would be riding. I'd be driving like this awesome car that hovers in the sky. Like I was just waiting for something that would never happen. Yep. So instead of just waiting around and wasting that time, I decided to do something and start the change. So I forced myself to kind of get out of my comfort zone and start. Yeah. So my advice would be just start.
So good.
Be the change. Yeah, be the change. Yep. Don't wait for the whole world to change or for your world to be perfect.
Yeah.
It never will be, unfortunately.
So good. And now I can't remember who says this quote, but I do remember it from like year 12 in high school. So you know how you had to have like a quote for the year?
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like our our year levels was like, be the change you want to see in the world.
Is that like a Dr. Is that Dr. Zeus?
I have no idea. I thought it was like Mother Teresa. But
it's either one of the two, really. It's all those quote always.
I could be super
it's
wrong.
Mother
I'm
Teresa.
so sorry.
It's Mother Teresa or Dr. Zeus. Like polar opposites here.
I can't remember. I probably should have like quickly Googled it as it came into my head right now, but I haven't. There you go. Yeah. It's one of them. Somebody send me an Insta DM with who it is because I need to know like now. But
that's so good.
I think, so that's what that reminds me. But it's actually true. Like be that change. Like don't wait on someone else.
Yeah.
Just you step out and do it and just start.
Yeah.
Start that business.
So good.
Start that blog. Start that whatever.
Yeah. 100.
So my next one is actually something that I really had to step up a notch a few years ago, and since then have constantly been kind of trying to balance it and play with it to work out how it's best going to fit in my daily life and daily schedule. And it's actually making self-care a top priority because a healthier you is going to be better for everybody.
Yeah, that's so good. That is so relevant.
So relevant, especially now. But like at that time, I had kind of got diagnosed with a few things. And so because of that, I was very stressed. I was very lethargic. I was like tired. It was just this whole bunch of things. Yeah. And so I had to learn how to minimize my stress and anxiety and really boost up my self-care, because not only was it affecting me, but it was affecting everybody around me as well. And even my relationship with the Lord, because I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm over this, da, 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 da. So I kind of had thought of some strategies for like every day to include in my schedule and learnt to prioritize them really.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Self-care is such a huge part of our lives. And I know that I was never really aware of this before my whole mental health crisis, really. I always got told self-care. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I don't need to take another shower. Like, I don't understand. Why does everyone keep telling me self-care? Like, I don't want to sit in a bath. Yeah. But it's much more than just a bath and showers and doing your nails. It's really setting that time aside for you to just kind of calm down and just be aware of your surroundings and be more aware of what exactly is going on, being mindful that, your body might be going through something, your mental health, you're going through something. So let's just take a step back and really just take some time to not just reevaluate, but breathe and to be a little bit more more aware with what's going on and try to find your is it your equilibrium?
Yeah,
like just trying to kind of find that middle ground and get some balance going on. And and it was just such a huge part. And people who unfortunately might not go through this sometimes don't understand the importance of self-care for others who have gone through something traumatic or PTSD or whatever it is. So that is a fantastic point. I really, really do like that.
Yeah, I'd love to expand on it one day, but like just really, if it is something you're going through right now, just, take a moment, step back and just ground yourself. And that just brings you back to the present moment, to the now. So, you forget about that stress or that anxiety that you might be going through. And there are simple things such as, taking a bath, having a cup of calming tea, lighting a candle, but ultimately just give yourself space to breathe and to come back down and just, calm yourself down. Yeah. And that's so important, just to, that simple shift of your focus can bring you back to stillness and the present moment rather than what you are playing with in your mind at that time.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. So my next one is don't limit yourself by saying no to those things that will make you grow.
That's so good.
I think a lot of times, I know I had to go through this one the hard way, is sometimes when you're afraid, you say no to things that will push you out of your comfort zone.
Yep.
And that will inevitably make you grow as a person. And out of that fear, sometimes we just are like, not happening, too scared, don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. So it's really having the courage to not limit yourself and to believe in yourself that you can actually do it and grow and have an amazing story and an adventure. Yeah, like I know recently I forced myself to say yes to a overseas travel experience, a business experience. And I would have otherwise said no if I didn't go through a certain thing in that period of time where it forced me to say yes. I know that experience made me grow so much within those 3 months. I think it was almost like a year's worth of experience just in that 3 months.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, but definitely don't limit yourself by saying no to those experiences and situations that will make you grow.
Yeah, that is so good. So good. And, I'm pretty sure I've read something or saw a movie, but it was like someone that was constantly having to like say yes. And there was like all these, is it a movie?
Jim Carrey.
Well, that was a that was a failure. But yeah, it's literally that thing, like the experiences that can come out of you just saying yes.
Yeah.
But that also goes to show of actually, being mindful of your life and what you're doing and say no at the right time for the right things and yes for the right things as
100%,
well.
100%, yeah.
Okay, so my next little lesson in life that I've learnt has been to stop running from the call and just obey God, because there is breakthrough on the other side of your obedience, and delayed obedience is actually disobedience.
Ooh, delayed obedience is actually disobedience.
Disobedience, yes.
Jeez, that's a bit of a slap to the face.
It was a bit of a humbling experience that I learned that through. So, when God tells you to do something, if he gives you that timeline when to do it, do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like briefly though, what kind of experience was that?
It was actually just stepping out into starting something that I didn't really feel I was prepared for.
Yeah.
So it was probably a little bit of like that whole imposter syndrome-y thing. It kind of got me. And so, I was just, I guess, maybe procrastinating on stepping out and doing it. And then, it was a little bit of a slap to the face when I did it. And the Lord is like, well, why didn't you do it when I told you to do it? And I'm like, it's a good question. Jesus, why didn't I?
Why are you asking the hard questions today?
Can I phone a friend?
Imagine that.
So it was definitely humbling, that's for sure.
Wow, that's crazy. And it's so true though. Sometimes we do run away from the call, and the thing that I just love that there's breakthrough on the other side of your obedience. And that's so true. Sometimes we do forget about the calling. We just keep going along and we're just not getting through. It just seems like there's either a stronghold or something stopping us.
Yeah.
from getting through, but really it's answering that call.
Yeah.
You know, that
call. Ring, ring.
That our breakthroughs there. Our breakthroughs is just, it's waiting on us.
Totally. Sometimes
we're the ones stopping it.
Sometimes we are the ones stopping it. And it's just actually kind of getting that revelation and that download of like, okay, what do I need to do? Just say yes to the Lord.
Yeah, that's so, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my next one is, I think from a lack of, is being surrounded by good people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So stop doing life alone and being intentional about building community and to have that amazing support system around you.
Wow.
I think the lack of that I've had, I know in the past few years when I did step away from the church is that sometimes it is very hard to find those good support systems or, you know, that community that can actually step in the gap and, I don't know, hold you up in prayer. They can, if you need anything, they'll be there. They're the ones that you can call if you're, I don't know, moving a house or if you need sugar, they're there to give it to you. Like, just anything, like, you know what I mean? They're just always there. They're your support system, but they're also people that you can go to for advice and for wisdom and for knowledge and who can actually look into a situation in your life and say to you, wholeheartedly and honestly, this is wrong. I need to pray for you. Yeah. You need some guidance here. Like someone who is actually willing to get their hands dirty when it comes to helping you out.
Yeah.
And I don't think from what I have seen in my situation, not a lot of people were, I guess, able to step into that position and be able to not just guide me, but be there for me and to kind of assist and pray for me and be able to actually lead me on that path.
Yeah.
So that's something that I lacked and I really, really miss it. And I kind of encourage everyone to find your support system, find your good people and be surrounded by them. And, you know, sometimes there are seasons where you need to do things alone and God somehow, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but God tells you that you need to be on you need to be alone because he needs you to make sure that you can rely on him and you can really press into him. Yeah. So in a nutshell, I just say be surrounded by good people.
Yes. Finding your tribe, it's so important. And like I've kind of probably been in a bit of a similar situation where you kind of find yourself with no one and it's like, what do I need to do? And I think in those times I've kind of wanted to be the friend that I wish I'd had. So now to other people, I'm that person. And
that's
even
nice.
in the way of like a leader as well is being the type of leader that I never had.
Yeah, that's so good. And that is so good.
And it is that thing that you said, which is getting your hands dirty and actually calling stuff out of people, going, hey, why are you doing this? This is actually not really benefiting you. And not being afraid of possibly offending them because they don't want to hear it.
That's the thing.
Because you need to, as the person receiving it, you need to be open enough to let the person that you want to speak into your life. So you actually need to give them that permission. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to speak into it the way you want them to and the way you need them to. Because then you're just going to end up offended or whatever.
Yeah, that's so good. It's kind of like, I don't know how to say it, but it's almost like intention.
Yeah.
It's that some people are happy with you being able, or they're trusting that leader or putting that trust into that person, whether it's a leader or a friend, giving them that trust that they can actually call out stuff because they know that the intentions behind that is good.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing it just to
upset you and
to upset them, or there's something that they're gaining and that you're at a loss. There is that trust that is built, and because they know the intention behind it, which is just a whole thing in itself.
Yeah.
But it's building that community and finding people that you can trust that will call out and that will support you and that will be there. They're the shoulder that you need. You know, they're the intercessors that you need. They're the people. They're your chefs.
Yeah.
They can be. You know, they can be what you need. Yeah.
Totally. That's so good. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really important to find your tribe and to allow them to speak into your life.
Yeah.
So my next one actually bounces off your one that we just spoke about finding your tribe. So it's finding the why in everything you do because your intentions matter.
Oof, that's pretty funny. It's scarily on the same page. Intentions do matter.
They do.
It's so important.
Yeah, it is. And it's really just about, what's your why? Why are you making these friendships? Why are you stepping out and studying that course? Like, what's your intention behind what you say to people?
Yeah.
Like, are you just saying it for fluff? Like, just to build up an ego? Or are you saying it because it's truth?
Yeah.
Like, start questioning yourself in these things. And yeah, I think that's probably something that's really, really important.
Yeah, that's massive. That is so massive because once you understand what your intentions are, then you really start to go through and see what the reason behind things are and where that desire or where that fear or where that root cause, like what exactly is the root cause of you doing it? What's the reason why you're trying to get at that? Is it jealousy? Is it a broken heart? Is it fear? Like it's just, you can go so far into this.
Totally.
But that is so good. Finding the why in everything that you do.
Yeah. So why are you going to start that business? Like, what is your why? What is your why in your life? And and I think it's just really important to check ourselves and keep ourselves in line a bit and be accountable.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Next rapid fire lesson. Okay. What have you learned in your life so far, Sylv?
Okay, this is a big one. Being busy does not equal importance.
Oh, ouch. That hurts.
Yeah. So, girl, just because you're running around, your schedule is full, it does not make you any more important than that person who's sitting down being lazy on the couch.
Truth.
Being busy does not equal importance. It does not equal status. It does not equal your financial freedom. It does not equal a lot of things.
Yeah.
Being busy sometimes is just, before you said the word fluff, it's just a fluff word. Sometimes we are so busy. Busy with what?
Yeah.
Like, I try and catch up with people sometimes, but I'm too busy. What am I busy? Like, and I stop and I think to myself, what am I busy with? I have one deadline today and I have some research to do and I say I'm busy.
Yeah.
Why we use it so loosely, which is like, I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm so important.
True.
I'm busy.
And I think it's such a word that, you said it's used as like a status symbol. Like, I'm busy. I can't meet with you. Oh, I can't do coffee. I'm busy. Like, why are we making ourselves so busy?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What's the intention? What's the reason?
What's the reason behind this word busy?
Why? That's so true. And sometimes we think the more we have it, the more we have this busyness, the more important we are. It's not. It's just, maybe we're just really terrible at delegating and organizing our lives.
100%.
That we're always sometimes so busy.
Yeah.
But that was a huge thing that I learned, was that I was always trying to be busy. And I genuinely was. Like, I was doing different, fashion shows or events. I'd be doing weddings on the weekends, photo shoots. Like, it would be pretty busy. And then during the week, I'd have a full-time job. And then I was doing some studies at night. So it was a bit full on, but I always somehow had time, and I made time for the people that I really loved or that I wanted to hang out with, or, I delegate my time wisely. So being busy doesn't equal importance.
Yeah.
I think it's just all really a mindset of having everything organized, and actually it's the intention behind it too. Like, why am I keeping myself busy?
Totally.
Am I preoccupying my time? Am I trying to not feel, am I procrastinating
by being busy?
Am I trying, exactly. Am I trying to not feel a certain emotion? So I'm just trying to make myself busy.
Yep.
Yeah. Am I being busy because I don't want to feel lonely, or do I not want to deal with that emotion?
Totally. And then there's people that aren't busy, that are just dropping the word they're busy. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Like, I think if you're a person that just uses that word busy, maybe look at your life, look at your schedule, look at how you delegate and prioritize things and go, okay, I'm not going to use this word busy anymore. What can I say instead? Let me get rid of this word, because it's got such a thought pattern associated with it now. And it's like, why are we using it? So let's just try and change it up a bit. Like, can you be more flexible with your time? There's so many little things that you can start just checking yourself with.
Yeah, that's so good.
Like what you've heard so far? Make sure you never miss an episode by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible because of listeners like you. Thanks for your support. Now let's get back to the show. My next one, I think, flows into this really well because often we say we're so busy that we don't have time to do this. So it's actually pray always because this is your lifeline.
Yeah,
like
that's
when
good.
you are drowning, pray. Like if you are driving and you're about to hit a tree, you're not going to be on the phone to your boss going, yo, I'm busy. You're going to be on the phone going, Jesus, save me now. Like I don't even know if you're going to get that whole sentence out. I think you're just going to be like, Jesus, help me. Like, you know? So yeah, so pray always. It's your lifeline.
Yeah.
It will get you through anything and everything. You know, God is waiting there to have a conversation with you. It is not a monologue. It is not a wish list.
Yeah,
just sit there and have a conversation. It'll be great.
I think that's one of the biggest things that's what we have in our mind with prayer is that we're like, we have to be so serious and so super spiritual about it. It's
100%.
Like,
I used to be that way.
It's literally like what we're doing right now. We're having a convo and we're so cash, and even the words I'm saying right now are just like half slang.
Yeah.
Like Liz, we're having a convo. It's so chill and there's a flow going on. Like it's back and forth.
Yeah.
It's not just like a one-sided convo.
Yeah.
Conversation. And I think that we forget that praying to God is also talking to God.
Yeah. It's literally
that's the relationship. Like it's not like, dear Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I do. 100%. I do that too. There are times where I will be so serious or it depends on what kind of prayer it is, like if it's interceding or whatever. But there are times where your everyday one, you just want to have
you're like, the dude's sitting right next to you and you're like, what's up?
Hey, bro.
Hey,
like,
bro.
What are you doing today?
How is this show? Are you enjoying it? I kept your seat warm. Like, do you want a coffee?
You want to watch The Batchy?
Oh,
The
goodness. No.
He's like, oh, terrible.
So bad.
But that's the relationship you want to have is that
totally
you can talk like that to him.
And
that's what he wants.
He wants it,
that.
yeah. And he's waiting for that. So like,
yeah.
And you know, if you are a person that is very
formal,
formal's a great word. That's totally okay. You keep doing that as long as you are hearing back from the Lord and having that conversation. Just pray.
Yeah, it works. If it works for you, it works for you.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, handballing it over to you for another life lesson.
Okay, so this one is think bigger than you are.
Ooh.
Get out of your own head.
It's a good one.
So a lot of the times our thinking is very small and it's always centered about us.
Yeah.
Oh, I know my thinking sometimes can be like that.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit like that, aren't we?
Yeah. So sometimes it's we think small and sometimes we just think too much about ourselves. Yeah. But sometimes we have to break out of that thinking and think beyond your mind, think beyond what is in your head. And when you break out of that, it feels like there are no limits to what you can achieve. Like sometimes small thinking does limit our lives and does limit our everyday because we're just so consumed with the small things when God's like, no, think bigger, dream bigger. Do bigger. Yeah. Like you can do much more than just what you're thinking. Like you just want like a small job. Like I've got this stuff for you. Or like, for example, I don't know, you want to, no, I'm at a loss, Liz. Jump in here.
No, like sometimes I think, you know, if my dream with God is attainable, it's not big enough. Like I feel like it's so weird to say, but sometimes I feel like my God dream should actually be unattainable because it should be that big. Like, do you know what I mean? And that incredible that it's actually unattainable, even though I know that's not true because, you know, God wants us to, you know, he's got a perfect plan for us and everything. But there's this small part of me is like, God, if this is from you, like I don't want it to be attainable because I want it to be like so incredible that there is no way I'm going to be able to make this happen. Like that it all has to be like relied on you, Lord. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Sometimes we look at that. It's the bigger picture we're talking about here. It's not that's not the small steps to get to that big picture. Because sometimes when we think about those things that are massive, those dreams, we're like, oh, it's unattainable. And then we also stop and we're like, oh, that's unattainable. You're looking at the bigger picture. So you need to really strategize and have small steps that will slowly get you to that big picture. Yeah. So it's really just trying to think bigger and just break out of the limitations that you put on yourself. That's a big thing. Yeah, that's a huge thing, is just to enlarge your capacity and enlarge your thinking. Okay, so I'm going to handball it back to you.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, this one kind of just flows into the last one we just chatted about as well. And it's actually submitting to the process. So stop doubting God, trust him once and for all, because you can trust him more than you actually trust yourself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like submitting to that process and just letting God have full control to get you to that bigger picture that he has for you.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That is so powerful because sometimes we just don't want to. We don't want to be in that process, and we don't even want to not be a byproduct of the process, but like just be the maybe be a byproduct of the process. We just want to be like, no, let's just get to it already. Let me wake up. Hold on. Let me wake up one day and my world will be perfect. that thinking.
I know, right?
Like, we don't want to go through that process.
And it's such a struggle for us to actually learn to surrender as well and to accept that process.
Yeah.
So I think that was a really important lesson I've learned. Yeah, it was just submitting to whatever God had for me during a season that I went through, which was frustrating.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
I can imagine.
Because it was kind of that season where there was it felt like there was no end in sight.
Oh, it's just continuous. Those types of situations where it's just continuous and you just can't see when it will end. Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah. So it was kind of, month 1 went by, month 2 went by, month 3, 4, 5. And I was like, I just need to submit to this because it's not going anywhere. And it took 9 months.
Ooh.
9 months of this one thing. And coming out of that season, I realized how much I learned, but I was like, okay, next time if I ever go through this, I'm just going to submit a lot quicker and just accept it and just deal with the everyday that I had to deal with.
Wow. That's crazy because that one actually kind of flows into my next one, which is pretty funny.
I love it.
Trust the wait and embrace the uncertainty. That's literally kind of similar.
Good.
It's really, you do have to trust the wait that, it doesn't, trust the process. It's like it doesn't
trust
matter.
The process.
Yeah. Doesn't,
and learn in that waiting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was going to be like, nah.
Yeah. I know. We're getting too excited.
I know. It's
good. I love it.
Getting all jittery, yeah.
Preach, sister, preach.
But that's literally what it is. It's trusting the wait and embracing the uncertainty, knowing that doesn't matter what happens, you can trust God, that God will take you through it and you will learn along the way. You will be equipped. You will equip yourself along the way in the waiting as well. But yeah, that actually tied in really well with your one as well.
Yeah, that's so good. Embracing the uncertainty. And I think this is, I know we keep going on about it, but we are living in unprecedented and uncertain times at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's just as frustrating and as maybe scary it can be for people. It's just learning to embrace and trust God through it all. Just going, well, God, you're in control of this whole situation. You know the outcome.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. We just need to sit here and pay attention and press in and learn what you want us to learn during this time.
That's so true. That's so good.
So my next lesson is an interesting one. It might be a bit difficult to do at the moment. But I think it really came from my early 20s.
Yeah.
Just, learning about life and things like that. So it's go out more, immerse yourself in experiences, travel other cultures and surround yourself with people who aren't like you.
That is one of my favorite things to do. Oh, that's so good.
I think you can learn so much from someone who is not like you. Because often, especially in our type of community of being so involved within church and whatnot, we find ourselves often just surrounded by other Christians. And there's no issue with that whatsoever. But I think when you surround yourself with some other people, one gives you that opportunity to reach out to them and evangelize to them. But two, it really just opens your eyes a little bit just to what other people experience.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to, do this stuff, especially in terms of travel and experiencing other cultures. I think it's great to do that when you're married, but I think if you have the opportunity to do it before you're married, I think that would be really great and important because it allows you to learn a lot more about yourself as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's a huge thing for me because I love traveling and I travel frequently, like every year I'll be overseas and interstate.
So lucky. Lucky.
So I actually thought it would have been the opposite. Travel more while you're single and when you're young, because when you're married, I don't know if there's going to be time for that.
Yeah, look, there isn't a lot.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's why I'm like, take the opportunity now while I can.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's such a amazing experience because you do immerse yourself in different cultures, in different languages, in different traditions and things like that. So it is amazing to open your eyes to really learn from other cultures, see how they do things, see how they do life, see how they worship, see how they dress, see their way of life, because it is totally different to yours. And it's almost like an injection of creativity as well. So for those who are creative, sometimes traveling is the best thing. And if you also want to get to know yourself, definitely go traveling, because I think that is one of the main areas where I learned so much about myself. You just step out of, it's just such a
culture shock and
such a culture
everything.
shock, and you step out of your comfort zone because you're not in your country, you're not in your safe zone, you're in a new environment, you're in a new location, and you just really have to make the most of it and enjoy where you are, enjoy the people, enjoy everything about that period of time. I absolutely love that one. That's so good.
So good. I think I just really think it's something important that, we should look into a little bit more in our life.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah. Back to you.
Okay. So
life lessons. We are learning a lot today. I hope everyone out there is writing these down and getting something from them.
If not, you can re-listen to this podcast.
That's correct. You can rewind it, play. I don't know anyway.
Replay. My next one is don't worry about what others think.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you're probably not going to get to see them again after that season of time, as most, besides your family. But don't worry what others think.
Yeah.
Really, there's so much I can say about this, and I'm sure you have so much to say about this too.
Totally.
You're just like, where do I begin? I think at the end of the day, look, God's going to judge everyone individually.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it, literally.
It's great.
I think of it as cool. God's going to judge me. So I am responsible for my own actions, which means that I'm not going to let anyone else's thought patterns or anyone else's prejudice or anyone else's, objectives kind of be inflicted upon me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be judged based on my decisions. I'm going to have to suffer the consequences. So I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to do me. There's a lot to say about this, especially with family and especially with other people who are close. But I think in a nutshell, don't worry about what other people think. And
I think we do that so often though, like especially in high school.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it.
We care so much about what others think and what others think about us and our actions and all that stuff. And I think we just need to, start worrying and overthinking and just enjoy life.
Yeah, that's so true.
Okay, so this one is another one that I learnt in life. Actually, I can't really remember what brought this on, but actually it's also something I think you'll relate to a lot, Sylv, which was use what you have and do what you can with where you are right now.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. That's similar to I think what we said in one of our previous podcasts.
Yes.
Using what you have in your hands at that time and not trying to strive and think that you need to have more in order to start. Yeah. So powerful.
It's so powerful. Yeah, I just think it's, just really sitting there and going, what have I got in my hands right now? Like, what has God given me right now? And it might be as simple as this podcast.
Yeah.
It might be a blog. It might be an Instagram account. Like, what has he given you to use?
Yeah.
And use it. Like, there's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay. We're almost dwindling down now.
We are. We're nearly done.
To our last few. Okay. It doesn't mean
make
that
it a good one.
Yeah, they're not any less powerful. Okay, so this one, if I give you some context, It's basically all the times I've had to do business as a freelancer and as a business person. So my life lesson is don't downplay your value.
Wow.
You give people the permission to treat you how you want to be treated.
Wow.
So sometimes we forget, especially right at the beginning of something, is we don't understand the value that we have as a person. And sometimes we downplay it and we don't value ourselves as much as we think we should, when really we are valuable just the same as a person who's been doing it for a very long time.
So good.
The only difference is that we might not have the knowledge or the skill just yet, but we do have the tenacity, we do have the passion, we do have the drive. So sometimes we just think less of ourselves, and I think we need to really be a bit more kinder to ourselves and know that it is a process. There is a process for you to, I guess, become an expert or become that person that you want to be, but just never downplay your value, because when you do, you are basically allowing people to treat you that way.
Yeah,
if you don't want to be treated so insignificantly, then you need to act like you are significant.
Yeah.
So it's practicing what you preach. This was a huge thing, pardon me, when it came to freelancing, is that I was undervaluing myself so much. I'd be charging so little.
Yeah.
And really, for what I've been doing and for the experience that I received, I should have been charging triple times what I was actually quoting. But I didn't believe in myself, and I was telling other people, yep, I charge this much because I need money. I need work.
Yeah.
And, you know, as freelancers, I am hoping there are other people out there who believe and feel what I'm feeling right now.
I do. I went through that.
Disheartened. Yeah, I felt disheartened because I am pouring my heart and soul, and I do have some experience in this, and I was just downplaying my value so much.
Yeah.
And then people start to think, oh, yeah, she's cheap. Oh, yeah, she's this. Oh, yeah, she's that. I'm just going to continue pretending that she's cheap and pretending that she's this level, when really I should have been up here. Like, so you really do give permission for people to treat you how you want to be treated, and that really does start with how you value yourself.
Yeah, that's
a big thing. Big thing I've learned.
And just going on like the charging, like when I was doing freelance work as well, it's that thing of, I need work, so I'm going to charge less. And I actually read a really great quote, actually probably just the other week, in a Facebook business group I'm in. And it's like the person was saying, you know, I will charge you, say, $300 for something that will take me 10 minutes of work because it took me 10 years to be able to do it in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
So you're charging for that value that you're going to place on it, not just my time kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But you said something that, you know, being significant and why we need to just stop undervaluing ourselves. And that place we're going to find that is by finding out what God actually thinks about us and what he says about us, and being confident in who he says we are.
Yeah, that's so true.
And that's such an important, I think, point to really push, because, you know, without knowing that, like, that's where all the uncertainty will come from.
Yeah.
Because we don't know who we are and what our identity really is.
Yeah, it's the foundation.
Totally.
That's great.
So, we're on to another one of my life lessons, I believe.
Yep.
So this one is one of my favorites, and it's live with an open heart, forgive people quickly, including yourself.
Oh, wow.
And I think
That's
it took
huge.
a very long time for me to learn to forgive myself. Forgiving other people, that's a journey, but that's kind of an easier journey than it is to forgive yourself. So that was really interesting. And then I actually came across a Billy Graham quote, which I love. And it's the Holy Spirit's job to convict, God's job to judge, and my job to love.
Yeah.
So that's where this whole live with an open heart comes from, because that's where this all comes from. It's loving people and learning to love people. And as you forgive them, you're loving them. But as you forgive yourself, you're actually then loving yourself as well.
Yeah, that's so good. I love Billy Graham's
he's great.
Quote. That's such a powerful quote, because it does put into perspective the different, not positions, but the different keys or the different jobs that we've got. Like, so we do have, our job is mainly to love. It is not to judge.
It's not to convict
it's
somebody.
Not to convict. No, that's not our job at all. Our job is solely to love. And that is the way that the message of Christ will actually be, you know, spread. So it's powerful. And And forgiveness a lot of the times is for yourself.
Oh, 100%. If you're not going to forgive somebody, their life isn't affected. It's your life that's affected.
Yeah, you're the one that's holding on to that, and you're the one that's going to continuously get hurt by it.
Stewing over it, that letting bitterness grow.
It's not worth it.
You know, every time you like see that person, you're the one that's kind of cringing on the inside because you're holding on to it. Whereas that person may not have any idea about what you were feeling because they have no idea in the first place that you're upset with them or offended by them or anything. So it's really important to let that go. And even if they do know and you've had a discussion with them and you're still feeling that, then you actually really need to check your heart and let go.
Yes.
And actually release that because it's only affecting you in the end. And you need to feel that freedom. So
yeah, that's so good. I love that.
All right, Sylv, I think we're coming to an end.
What's it gonna be?
What is it? Insert drum roll here.
My last one's gonna be like a releasing one.
Releasing, uplifting.
It's really just an encouragement. The last one is get up. Go do it and be consistent.
Oh, that's a good one.
So it's
a
three-part. It's to get up, get out of the situation you're in, from whatever it is that you are sitting in. You just need to get up and you need to go and do it and do what it is that you need to do, whether that is your calling, it's your purpose, it's your job, it's forgiveness, whatever it is. Just get up, go do it. And be consistent because a lot of the times is we forget about consistency and then we stop and think, why isn't this working?
Yeah.
Why is this not working? And we think, maybe it's not working because I haven't tried hard or maybe I didn't have enough money to do this or maybe it just was the wrong time. No, it's about consistency. It's about just sticking with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times we think that when we are consistent, it's a lot more effort.
Great.
And it is. Being consistent, there is a lot of effort. You have to consistently keep showing up, keep doing what you're doing. And then from that, you will see the fruit come to pass. Like you will see fruit. I know a lot of people have been asking in regards to Tear the Veil. They were just like, how are you either growing so fast or where do you get your content from? Or how are your posts just continuously good? Or like, how do you maintain that momentum?
Yeah, great.
It's so hard. Like, trust me, it is hard to keep being consistent. And it's such a massive thing that we deal with is to each day choosing to get up, to do it, and then to keep doing it again. Get up and do it.
Wow.
And a lot of the times we just go, yep, cool. I didn't receive anything after maybe the third one. I'm going to finish here because this isn't my calling. It's not supposed to be easy. It's hard. This is hard work. And people are like, is there a quick fix? Is there a quick way to do it? No, there isn't. It's hard work. It's sowing and sowing. If you sow a seed, right? When are you going to see the fruit come out?
Yeah.
Is it going to be tomorrow or maybe in a week's time? Nah, you're going to see it after a few months or even maybe years.
Yeah.
The harvest, how long do they harvest stuff for what? Sometimes they harvest stuff for 4 or 5 years here. Up in Queensland, they're like, when we used to go on tours, they used to be like, so this type of crop, every 4 years we reharvest it. And I'm like, you wait 4 years for that?
Yeah, wow.
But it's consistency and it's consistently showing up and doing it.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing, and I think that's with business as well, is to continuously be consistent. I know you've got something to say about this.
I love that. Yeah, no, for sure. Consistency is definitely the key. And I love that analogy that you spoke of about being up in Queensland and having these farmers telling you the harvest.
Yeah,
and I think
4 years.
What is so incredible is that the first year they would have done that, they would not have known if it was going to produce fruit.
Ooh.
But then after that next season, they would have known, hey, if I'm consistent, I'm going to get even more fruit. And if I'm consistent again, this harvest is going to be even better than the last two. Yeah. So it's them constantly showing up, being consistent and knowing that it is actually going to produce a harvest.
Yeah, that's so good. Wow, that's powerful there. Stay consistent, guys.
Stay consistent. Get up. Do it.
Do it. and be consistent.
And in saying that, I'm going to wrap it up, I think, with my last little lesson in life.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, and you can choose any way to do it. But as Sylv just pointed out, it's important to be consistent.
Yes.
And it's starting and ending your day with God.
Yeah, that's so important. That's so important.
It's so important, and it's so simple, and it doesn't need to be like, an hour prayer meeting or 2 hours of worship. It can literally just be writing in a journal, taking 5 minutes to end your day, thanking him for what was, thanking him for what will be, and just getting yourself prepared for the next day.
Yeah, it's spending that time as well. It not only just sets apart the day and kind of makes it like it sets it up for it's a stepping stone for the day. So
right. Yeah, for sure.
When you are going to, embark on your day and you're ready to go, you're going to face some hard times.
Yeah.
And for you to be full of God and to already be that full vessel ready to go, throughout the day you will be drained. Throughout the day you will be emptied. People will need you. People will pull at you. They'll grab you. They'll need this. They'll need that. Your boss needs this. Your kids want that. Your spouse wants this. You're going to be drained by the end of it. So constantly going to that place where you refuel your heart up, or your soul, or your spirit, or whatever it is. It's just that source that you need to keep going. And at the end of the day, you want to give all that trouble back to God, because you're like, I'm done. This day was great, but I'm on to the next 100%. One. So it's like, it's starting off your day well and ending it well too.
Yeah, no matter what happened in between those 2 points, it's all okay when you get to that point and you're like, take it, God, or give me a great day. Take it. It wasn't great. Like that, just that constantly of, giving it back to him and letting him do what he needs to do overnight and into your day the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
That was rather fun. That was cool.
Yeah, awesome. Wow, that was really, really good. There was a lot of nuggets and words of wisdom throughout our little life lessons. Thanks for sharing them with me.
Thanks right back. And that's a wrap, everyone, on our life lessons. We hope that you learnt a thing or two. Go back, listen to it, take some notes, and we would love to hear about your life lessons. So drop us a line over on Instagram. Remember, Sylvia's over at
Tear the Veil AU.
And you can find us at the.gracecode, where, you can let us know what your life lessons are, and maybe one day we'll get to read them out. I think that would be super fun.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
It'd be great. So maybe that can be a future episode. So that's a wrap for today. So tune in next week on our next podcast. It's going to be heaps of fun. Have a great week, guys.
See you guys.
Thanks so much for joining us this week on the Grace Code podcast. This show is made possible because of listeners like you. If you want to find out more about the Grace Code, head over to our Instagram at the.gracecode and say hello. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss an episode, and be sure to tune in next Wednesday when we drop our next show. Until then, have a beautifully blessed week.